Hello and welcome to Technical Utkranti. Today we look into data types and various operators in C language. So lastly what we looked into the previous video was significance of data types. Data types tell the processor how to store a particular kind of data into the memory and what kind of operations that could be performed on that data, right? For example, float is stored in single precision format, whereas integer is stored in integer is stored in 2's complement format, and the operations that could be performed also depends on the data types. For example, integer data type could be used with plus operators, arithmetic operators, and so on. Statically and dynamically typed languages, we learned that in statically typed language, the type checking is performed during the compile time, whereas in dynamically typed language, the type checking is done by the interpreter during the runtime itself, right? Then we looked into weakly and strongly typed languages. So the language which has very strong type checking rules, these are called strongly typed languages, whereas the languages which have weaker type checking rules, these are called weakly typed languages. Then finally we looked into size of data types, the story behind how int got the size of 4 bytes, and then we looked into endianness, which tells the arrangement of the various bytes in a data type, where the higher byte, the MSB, has to be placed, and where the lower byte, least significant byte, has to be placed. Fine. Today we look into the map files, different data types in C, and different operators in C. So let's get started. Firstly, what are variables? So in high level language, we have various symbols. A symbol could be a function, it could be a variable. So in early days, we have a memory segment, and we used to refer to the specific addresses to store instructions that the processor needs to execute, right? So this user used to do programming just at the memory level. But with the advancement of the high level languages, the work of address allocation was taken up by the compiler, okay, and then the source codes used to be written using the symbols like variables and functions. So the user came over here, right? So the allocation of addresses to various symbols is shown by a file which is generated by the compiler when after it performs linking. So that is called the map file. So in C programming language, the map file could be generated by appending this particular instruction in the command to compile the program. So we'll quickly see. I have already written this code for you. So there is one variable which has been declared and assigned a value also, and there is another variable which has been declared and whose value is assigned later on. Okay, fine. I'll remove this library and will not print it so that the map file generated will be small. Okay, so we have this output.map file. So these are all the linked libraries, and from here the allocation of symbols have started. Okay, so this is my random variable 2. Okay, and yeah, so it finds its place in the common segment. Okay, so this is the address in the memory of this particular variable, and this is its size. Okay, and if I search random variable 1, it lies in the data segment. Okay, fine. So we can clearly see that the variable, if it is declared and assigned before the main function itself, it comes in the data segment, whereas if it is just declared and assigned value later on, it comes in the common segment. Okay, so these are the two segments where data resides. Okay, and your dot text segment is where your different code instructions reside. You can see that main function, the symbol main, has been allocated the memory over here only. All right. Dot text segment is where the instructions lie in the memory segment. BSS and common segment is where the variables reside. As we had already seen that if the definition and initialization are together, then .bss segment the variable goes to, and if variable is only defined, then it falls in the common segment. Fine, let's move on. So we'll see now different data types in C. This table you can easily find anywhere on the internet also, but what I want to drive home the point is that whenever long is used in any data type, the minimum size of that data type would be at least 4. On different processors, the meaning of int and all those things will differ by a little bit, but whenever long int is there, the minimum size will be 4. Similarly, when long is used twice, the minimum size of the data type will be 8 bytes. Okay, and here are the different format specifiers that are needed to print that particular data type in C. Fine. So now another classification that we see in data types is signed and unsigned data types. So for 8-bit data type, I have made this diagram, to which we'll come a bit later, but one important thing is, like, if you want to have the representation of -128, just do the 2's complement of 128 and you'll get the representation of -128, right? Similarly, if you want to have the representation of -1, just do the 2's complement of 1 and you'll get the representation of -1. Another way of remembering this is, and the signed representation keeps on have one-to-one relationship in terms of their representation, and both of them are in increasing order. Fine. So for example, 0 to 127, the representation is same, and from 128 to 255, the representation has one-to-one mapping with -128 to -1. And the way to learn it is that this is in strictly increasing order, even this is in strictly increasing order, -128, then -127, -126 till -1. So the representation of 128 is same as -128. Representation of 1 more than 128, which is 129, is the same as 1 more than -128, which is -127. So 130 will be same as -126, and so on. Now we'll quickly see what is single precision format. For example, if 13.5 has to be stored in the memory, so firstly 13.5 has to be converted to binary representation, which is this. Now shift the decimal so that only one bit is left there for decimal point. So I can shift this decimal point by 3 places to get 1.1011 to 2 to the power of 3. Now take this power, and this is referred to as exponent, and add 127 to it. You get 130 and get its binary representation. Why this 127 is added, we'll get to know soon, but this is how the exponent is calculated. And similarly, mantissa is everything after the decimal point. So exponent has to be 8 bits long. Sign bit will be the first bit. So if it is positive, it will be 0. It will be mantissa. Okay. So this will be the representation of 13.5 on the memory. So just to see it, we'll take help of the code. float xyz equals to 13.5, and int star number is equal to ampersand of, so I allocate the address and then I'll print the number. Fine. So let's see. Okay, and so it comes out to be this number, right? And as you can see, it comes out to be the same number 0100 0001 0101 as we have calculated over here. Okay, so in the code I did nothing. I pointed that float number with an integer and just found the binary representation of how that float is stored. Okay, so now why the offset of 127 is added? That 2 to the power was in normal format, 2's complement format, but if you understand that way of representation, it is like the negative numbers and the positive numbers, the transition of representation between the negative and positive number is not strictly increasing, right? But when 127 is added to the exponent, even the negative exponent and the positive exponent both are represented in a strictly increasing order. Okay, so what happens is, for a small number the exponent will be negative, for a larger number the exponent will be positive and a greater number. So both the small number and the bigger number have their exponent representation in a strictly increasing format, which enables the hardware to compare the lesser and the bigger numbers in a straightforward way. Whereas if they are represented in a 2's complement format, then due to this non-increasing form of graph, it will be difficult for the hardware to compare the smaller and the bigger numbers. Okay, so that's why the offset of 127 is added. Finally, we'll see what are the different operators in C. So there are 7 broad classification of operators, and these are arithmetic operators like addition, subtraction, division, multiplication and modulus, relational operators like less than, greater than, etc., logical operators like AND, which is like 2 times ampersand, OR, which is 2 times this symbol, and NOT. Whereas bitwise operators, and like bitwise AND, it is like just a single AND, just a single OR, like this. So one way to remember this differentiation in representation of logical and bitwise operators is, bitwise happen single bit at a time the operation is happening. So the word single suggests that there should be just a single ampersand in its representation, like that. Whereas in logical operators it will be the symbols will be repeated over here. Okay, so that could be confusing at times. Then there are increment and decrement operators, assignment operators, and ternary operators. This explain a little bit. So it is like x will take the value of 1 when this expression is true, and if it is this expression is false, then it takes the value which is present on the right hand side. Okay, so that's it for today. Hit like if you get anything of value from this video. Thank you.